Howdy, folks. It is I, the solo gamer, and
Departing facility.
while I'm normally a PC main, typically running PC
Sunset will be
games.
occurring shortly.
Yeah, I've
Sam,
just
we've got a
recently gotten my
situation.
hands on
The
a.
delivery for the research lab is ready for transport, but the chiral density is
I got
higher
my
than
hands
anticipated.
on a
This
PlayStation
may
5
be
to
due to the
replace my old
gateway
one,
just
which
now.
got damaged and
We've identified
malfunctioned.
a new BT area in the vicinity of the lab. However, we have no BB pods on hand. I know you've got dooms, but without a pod, you're going to struggle to determine exactly where the BTs are.
Don't worry. If I can get close enough, I should be able to see them. Seems like my dooms level or whatever went up at some point. Steer me in the right direction. I can take care of the rest.
Oh yeah? That's awesome.
Woo!
By the way, we finished a preliminary assessment of the BTs detected in the vicinity of the research lab. And we've prepared some weapons that should be effective against them. You're a pro. I know you can handle this.
So yeah, I am playing Death
According to our
Stranding 2.
initial survey,
Yes.
you can expect to encounter gazers in the field. If you make contact with a gazer, then another type of BT, a hunter will emerge from the tar and try to capture you. If they succeed in this, you'll come face to face with a massive BT known as a catcher. Now, you don't want to ever let a catcher consume you. It'll trigger a void out, obliterating the surrounding area and everyone in it. And when the dust settles, there'll only be a giant crater.
I know how it works,
So
dude.
make sure to escape the catcher before that happens. Or use the weapons at your disposal to eliminate it. We've issued you a number of blood grenades. They use an active agent based on compounds derived from the blood and bodily fluids of doom sufferers, making them highly effective against BTs. You can practice using them in VR training. If you'd like to try them out, just access the delivery terminal to get started. Your other weapons won't do any damage to BTs. Shoot them all you like. They won't die. Make sure you're well prepared. All right. I'll brief you on the deep.
Alright, so to get you caught up, I did kind of have to get this started a bit ahead of schedule because I had to test out the PlayStation 5 and make sure it worked. My old one's HDMI port blew a fuse, just completely fried. Could not get it to work. On top of that, when it fried, it took my external hard drive with it. So, yeah. Fucked, I know. Thankfully, this one's got 2 terabytes of storage, so more than enough for my concerns. Can entrust some cargo.
Your service in transporting this cargo is appreciated. The delivery will be assigned to another porter. Playing archived footage from this location.
Yeah, they've really done a great job of stepping things up. It looks great. It runs fantastic. But the game is pretty much. I mean, it is, for lack of a better term, an almost identical game to. It is almost identical in its nature to the original Death Stranding in most gameplay that I've seen so far. It is definitely more varied in its environments and has a very beautiful visual style to it. But beyond that, it's more or less the same deal. So. Alright. And I got my boots, my PCC, my ladder. Yeah, I think I'm good. Alright, so now I'm making my way south through Mexico to contact and arrive at a research facility run by our old friend Deadman. Deadman needs some materials and equipment, some prototype type hardware, and he wants me to, and I'm bringing it to them. But unfortunately, we're about to cross into BT territory, and that's gonna be fun times. So, yeah, let's get ready for that fun.
All right, Sam. You good to go? The new BT area we've identified is located in these ruins. If we don't do anything about it, eventually someone's gonna trigger a void out. So to prevent that, we need to neutralize all the BTs in this area. There's no shortage of collapsed buildings and hiding spots there, and the timefall isn't letting up anytime soon either. Since you'll also have cargo for the research lab with you, take care not to let it get damaged by the timefall or in any fights with BTs. An aid request for a timefall shelter was registered in that vicinity. If you build one near that spot, you can use it to escape any BTs that may be pursuing you. And if you stash your backpack in a timefall shelter, you can rest easy knowing your cargo's safe from the rain and devote your full attention to dealing with any threats. So if you got room to carry a little extra, consider requisitioning a PCC. You're the only one we can count on. Don't...
Alright, well, we know the situation. Let's go ahead and...
Commencing route creation. Delivery route finalized.
Alright. And you need to carry those, so put them on the backpack. Pretty sure I've got all the grenades I'm gonna need. Guess I come through here again. I just take them. I just put them away for now. So yeah.
Thank you.
So yeah, now instead of the cufflinks from the last game, you now have a little ring that you wear on your thumb, which is hilariously on point given the nature of the game's interface. Let's auto arrange this stuff and go from there. Alright. And we are off. Don't worry, I brought plenty of spare boots with me and all that jazz. We'll be fine. There. Hopefully, I just adjusted the audio, so hopefully the game sound isn't too overwhelming. I had to, when I set up my new hardware, I had to reconfigure it because for some reason it wasn't working before. Now I will say, this game looks absolutely gorgeous, and I will be the first to say, I do kind of wish it had a little bit of a, I wish I had a little bit more, you know, variety, but I'm still very much in the early game, so I'm guessing that comes later. I will admit, though, I did see some heavily overgrown forested stuff, which was really cool looking, and it looked way more detailed than the previous game. So I'll give it you know props for that. Good time fall clothing. Yeah, this is something new, these gateways. Apparently, where the BTs occur, they now are so bad they're actually causing earthquakes to erupt.
Earthquake detected. Intensity. G-scale 6.
Enough already.
Yeah, I'm with Sam now. I had wanted originally to do this as a straight out playthrough, but I was having so much trouble initially with the setup for the PS5 I don't know why. It was just not cooperating at first. Redid some cabling, seemed to do the job. But I'd already been testing out the game when that went down, so I kind of decided that I need to, you know, just continue on from where it was. Now, I'm no geophysicist or any of that crap, but the Northern Lights aren't supposed to be fucking red. At least, not that I've ever been aware of. I don't know, maybe I'm just cuddly toy deck. That has got to be Dead Man's. I'm sorry. There's no way that is anybody else's thing, but there's no way that belongs to anyone else, but oh, here we go. We're getting into it now. Now, from what I understand, apparently Sam has gained the ability to sense BTs completely on his own now. He no longer needs BB to do it, which is good because BB is now Lou, and Lou is now a full-blown baby and is adorable. Hello. Oh wow, I came completely the other way around. So I'm in the area. One thing that is notable is that it is now very much possible, and in fact very common, to go into buildings to seek shelter. Also, apparently in the years since Sam was involved with this whole thing, they've apparently developed synthetic anti-BT weaponry. So they don't even need his blood anymore. They can replicate synthetically. Okay. And now we're gonna build a shelter. And while I'm at it, I'm also gonna repair my containers.
Construction process now complete.
Now, if you have the materials required, you can upgrade these things and contribute to them to make them better. And one of the things that the upgrades do is makes them stronger, but it also adds additional features to them. I've got enough.
Hi.
There you are. I hope I brought enough. I hope I brought enough. Ah. I kind of wish I knew how many of these things I had to kill. That's okay. I did kind of go out of my way to make sure I brought enough. Man, not so dangerous when people can fight back, are you?
Ambient chiral density has fallen to within normal range. BT threat neutralized. Please deliver your cargo to the research lab.
Okay. Might have gone overboard with the weight. Let's get to the. Let's get to this facility and get this crud delivered before I collapse into a heap. At least it's a fairly straight shot. Blood grenade. I have too much of that as it is. As always, Kojima and his crew are picking the best musics. Though admittedly, there's a lot more variety this time. There's a lot more variety this time. It isn't just a low roar constantly. But yeah, it is definitely way more visual. It is way more visually varied than I expected. Has beautiful, beautiful environments and skyboxes. The gameplay is, I mean, if you played Death Stranding, you know what to expect. It's the same. Excuse me. Wow. Super excuse me. But the game is definitely a step up, and the world is definitely way more interesting to me. At least to me. Poor Sam. Him haul his butt up this mountain, and he's just like, I am so bloody tired.
Don't worry, you got this.
I do kind of wish they'd at least have let you keep the vehicles this time. Like, that you started with a bike instead of you have to get one, but that probably would have made the early part of the game a little too easy. That being said, it's Kojima. I know he's just setting me up to have my heart cut in half, have it ripped straight out of my chest again, but alright, Kojima, I'm here for the emotional abuse. Let's get this over with. Thing is, I'm pretty sure I already know. It's not like the trailers hid some of the shit that's going to happen. But in Kojima's usual cryptic way, gives you the basics, doesn't give you the details, but that's okay. Hello.
Good evening, Sam. ID confirmed. Welcome, Sam.
Security measures lifted. Weapons detected. Be advised that usage is restricted inside facility grounds.
And we're here. I knew it. Return the Cuddly Duck had to be freaking Dead Man's. I'm covered in the synthetic blood from fighting the BTs. I really need a bath.
Long time no see, Sam. Though, having said that, I realize you probably don't recognize me like this. Anyway, why don't you let me take a look at your orders?
But to basically break it down, is after the first game, the UCA's kind of backed off. It's not running the show anymore.
Would you look at that? I knew we were right to call on you. Oh, picked up some lost cargo, I see. Should be a nice surprise for someone. We never doubted you'd show. Reliable as ever. A man you can count on. We're ready for you to link us up with your Cupid. Once you do, you'll have fulfilled your objective of bringing the entirety of Mexico onto the chiral network.
I somehow doubt that, but okay. But basically, Fragile comes to Sam and asks him to do a run into Mexico to link the connections in Mexico into the system, and she hires him as a third-party contractor. So, yeah, brava, I guess, but oh, hey, he was from the weather station in the first game. I do recognize him. Nice.
Now displaying your current order grade.
Not bad.
So, Sam, don't suppose you remember who I am? The name's Alex. I used to work at the weather station
Called it.
back in the UCA. I was a Bridges employee, reporting directly to Deadman. So, when I was offered the opportunity to collaborate with him here, studying the Death Stranding and BTs, I jumped at the chance, and here I am. And now, you're here too. You actually couldn't have come at a better time. Shortly before your arrival, chiral density levels started to climb, hitting significantly higher ranges than before. This kind of spike is indicative of an imminent giant BT appearance. I've shared with you some MP bullets that should be very effective against BTs. Because if a giant BT is on the way, then we're gonna need you to put it down.
Nice.
Chiral density levels in this region have been fluctuating wildly. We've been seeing a lot of gate quakes and seismic activity as well. It's almost certainly related to recent shifts in the tar currents. Our analysis of these anomalies has led us to believe that the arrival of a giant BT is all but imminent. What the data doesn't tell us is exactly where it might appear. Our chiral monitoring equipment just wasn't precise enough to zero in. Now that you've connected us to the network, though, we should be able to make more accurate predictions. We seriously owe you. Well, the delivery you were kind enough to bring us contained a shipment of MP bullets that have anti-BT properties. This ammunition will turn your average assault rifle into a BT killing machine. You can also fabricate blood grenades if you want to keep a few on hand. Before you head back out, review your options and requisition any weapons you think you might need. We've set aside a ton of extra materials just for this purpose. It's hard to know when this giant BT is going to appear. So for now, you should rest up in your private room and prepare for a potential fight.
Good.
That's both mine and Deadman's recommendation. We'll keep you posted, Sam.
I do like that they've expanded the layouts and designs of the buildings too. Makes the world feel a little bit more alive. You ever think Kojima might just be a little bit gay for Norman Reedus? I'm just saying. Every time he goes to sleep, he sees unbelievable shit. I feel sad. I feel sorry for this dude because going to bed for him is just bad times.
It's been too long, Sam.
Deadman.
You were a good friend to me. One I could never forget.
Deadman. He ain't there.
Which is why I took steps to ensure that this message would only play upon your arrival. The sensors were set to scan for your biometric data. A simple enough trick. Now, this was originally a geophysics laboratory established for the study of earthquakes. And for that reason, it holds a wealth of documentation on
Guillermo del Toro.
earthquakes, tar currents, and placates. As well, I discovered, as research data on the other side. Now, what I'm about to tell you, I learned after I came to this place.
Now, if I'm being frank, I like Guillermo del Toro.
Imagine that this is the lab. Though it's relatively close to the northern tip of South America, the continent is entirely cut off from us by a tar belt. And so we have no idea what's going on down there. Nor do we know the state of any continent other than our own. The researchers here were trying to establish contact with the rest of the world. They'd be well equipped to do so, as the facility had once been used to launch research satellites. So they tried launching a variety of probes and drones in the hope of obtaining observational data.
And they kept
No
crashing.
success. The Earth, you see, is shrouded in a thick layer of chiralium that renders electronics inoperable at altitude. So they tried sending ships across the ocean.
Oh, the ducky. I knew the ducky was his.
But that failed too. The high concentration of chiralium in open water proved too corrosive, invariably causing them to sink. But then the researchers found some rather rare birds on their doorsteps. Birds not native to the region. Nice birdie.
He's such a
And
goober.
that, my friend, was just the beginning. Not far from the lab, they discovered a strange anomaly. Well, the surrounding area was heavily contaminated with chiralium. Yes. Yes. Beautiful. The researchers would later dub the anomaly a plate gate. Further investigation revealed that it came into existence when you began to expand the chiral network across North America, and that the gate grew larger in tandem with the network itself. What started as a tiny fissure in space became so much more. The researchers duly installed cameras to study the gate and its surrounding area. Now, to their surprise, they caught footage of some unusual marsupials. The kind you wouldn't expect to normally encounter in Central America, like the birds.
They're coming through the gateways.
But to confirm their suspicions, they sent an autonomous robot through the gate. The soil samples they collected were consistent with the archived geological data from the southern hemisphere. Not long after, several men and women came through the gate. They spoke English, and they confirmed that they had indeed come from faraway Australia. We finally knew the world outside North and Central America had survived. Ours was not the last bastion of humanity, but Australia had suffered the death stranding too.
Of course they did.
Undeterred, the researchers began working closely with Bridges and conducted a series of tests, paving the way for an expedition to Australia that would lay the groundwork for chiral network expansion. After they had first installed surveillance equipment, that is, so that the gate could be monitored from the Mexican side, a necessity to this day as Australia is not yet connected to the chiral network. The UCA may not have dreams of conquest and control, but they aren't about to let just anyone use the gate. Indeed, that's one of the reasons they were so determined to connect Australia to the network in the first place. Well, I suppose that's all I have to say about the plate gate. There's something else that I need to tell you, though. Something far more important. Mind if I pause it here? I have to go take a shower.
Gate quake detected. Sam, a gigantic BT just showed up outside. We're prepping weapons for you now. Access the terminal up top and take whatever you need. We're counting on you.
Sounds like fun times to me. Alright. So let's get geared up. Get some chiral tea in our system. And hope that I'm going to be able to win this fight. It boggles me how that thing sounds like he's eating Cheetos. Hostile presence detected. Let's go all in. Alright, so we're fully up to speed. And I'm gonna pause it real quick here. And when we come back, we will fight the giant BT.